Hello my friends and welcome, my name is Dennis and this is the latest update from Ukraine. We have some of the movement on the front lines. Unfortunately, this time not the Ukrainian forces are advancing. So let's go to the Kharkiv and Lugansk area over here where Russia has some sort of advantage near to Crimea. So it was yesterday and it is today. There were some of the reports of the Russian attack from Crimea side. They tried to get more ground and they put new reinforcements and resources to that area. So it was again yesterday and it is today. They took some of the ground from this part. However, we're still controlling Terny and Yampolivka, so two of the villages that are across this lake, and it's very important to keep them under our control. What Russia took here is nothing, just fields, so it's not the map clarification. I think it's Russian attack. We were speaking about it long time ago, around 3 days, and here is the result of that counterattack. Whether they can go across this lake and take Liman, no, there is no chance for it. And let's go to Bakhmut area where Russia continued to advance the forces more closer to the city. Bakhmutsk was under the artillery fire today, which is the sign that they're not controlling this village. Just to remind you, on the north side, mostly Kadyrovites and together with prisoners are fighting prisoners from ЧВК Wagner, private military campaign. On the south and near to the Bakhmut, mostly private military campaign is fighting for that city. And they are pushing hard. So it was yesterday and it is today. So closer and closer they are coming towards the city. However, I am in a doubt that they can take this city this month until they would send lots of the new reinforcements to that area. And also we have of the movement, some of the movement on the south around here. They took Odarivka village and this road which leads to Bakhmut city itself. So yes, some movement this time from Russian side. And on the south, we also have the map clarification. We took Duchany over here, which is very crucial. And before, this gray area was around here. And now it's confirmed that Russia is still controlling this part and I think part of the Duchany village. As for the Russian rocket attacks on civilian infrastructure, they attacked Zaporizhia and one of their residential buildings hit dramatically. There are some of the injured people, and also they attacked Kharkiv. And Kiev today didn't sustain any kind of the rocket attacks. Belarusian side launched the MiG-31s that may carry hypersonic rockets. That is why today we got the air sirens all across Ukraine, but those planes didn't launch those rockets to Ukrainian side. Those rockets are very fast and hardly can be recognized by our radar systems. That is why we have the air sirens. Then Belarus or Russia sends their MiG-31s to patrol the area near to Ukraine, because sometimes they may launch those rockets. And now let's go to the latest news and events. This video was filmed in Poland, and this military column is heading towards the Belarusian border. And there are some military vehicles, armored vehicles, tanks and BTRs. The column is quite long, just in case Poland moves their army closer to the Belarusian border. Ukraine now has the direct contact with Elon Musk and Starlink, so there will be no any kind of issues with satellite internet for Ukraine. As you know, there were some of the speculations from Elon Musk and from Starlink that they will not cover the expenses for the Starlink, that Pentagon should pay for it. But finally, my friends, we solved this problem, or maybe Elon Musk solved this problem, we don't know. So you see, there are lots of the informational fog around this war, and sometimes you don't need to trust the information you hear even from the first resources like Twitter from the Elon Musk or something. I think maybe some influences from Pentagon itself talk with Elon Musk that it's better to continue support Ukraine with Starlink or something. I don't know what happened there, but we'll have reliable internet, and I'm still waiting for my antenna. Interesting article from the Jerusalem Post. They claim that 10 of the Iranian instructors, the drone instructors, were killed in Ukraine. As you know, Iran is providing Russia with their drones, with Shahid drones or Mujahid drones that they use actively in Ukraine, mostly to destroy civilian infrastructure. And Iran sent their instructors to Ukraine. And around 1 week ago, I heard the news about the rocket attack on the drone control center, which is in Kherson area. And that one was just demolished, and probably those Iranian instructors were there. About Kakhovka Dam, the topic of our recent video, we got the information from our intelligence services that Russia started to mine that dam from the spring, and now they put more mines there, which may lead to the explosion and catastrophic outcome for the Kherson region and Kherson itself. And this is the Belgorod, the neighboring city with Ukraine, and there's the huge fire in a painting factory. Recently, there was a phone call between United States Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin and a Russian Minister of Defense Sergei Shoigu. We don't know the details of that talk, but after the talk, Secretary Lloyd Austin called to our defense minister. Yeah, the only information we have that Secretary Austin emphasized the importance of the maintaining lines in communication amid the ongoing war in Ukraine. Self-proclaimed Belarusian leader Lukashenko visited today the military exhibition somewhere in Belarus, and he was wearing actually Ukrainian camouflage trousers over here. And this is the drone with the jet engine, and believe me, my friends, it is very loud. And Russia sent around 15,000 troops to Belarusian side, so totally there are around 85,000 soldiers ready for attack. However, British intelligence says that it's unlikely that Russia has actually deployed a significant number of extra troops into Belarus. And Russia is unlikely to be able to generate a combat-ready formations. It means that they do not expect the Belarusian attack nearby soon, maybe in a few months. Нехай прибуде з вами сила, let the force be with you. The actor Mark Hamill, who played the role of the Luke Skywalker, sent 500 drones to Ukraine. He said about it in his interview to Bloomberg Radio, and he said that soon Ukraine will have 500 drones. Awesome. Russia continued to move their forces out from the northern part of Kherson region, and yesterday Ukraine attacked the Antonovsky Bridge again. Just to remind you, Russia was able to build the ferry bridge just near to Antonovsky Bridge, and that was under attack by our forces. Russia claimed that we hit civilian targets. However, we hit that bridge during the night time, which is in a curfew time, so there should be no any kind of civilians by that time. I posted this video on my Telegram channel. By the way, my friends, check it out. It's in the video description below, where I post videos and information regularly for you, so we may keep in touch over there. Subscribe for me on Telegram. So here you can see two of the Russians carrying the washing machine from the house. And why are those Russians? Because here is the car with "we" sign, and they just load this washing machine over there. So Russian army is in lack of morale. They're in lack of motivation. Yeah, probably the only motivation they have is just to take goods from Ukrainian people to send them back to Ukraine. Or maybe they just need the chips from this washing machine to put on their rockets. Maybe it's a strategic goal from Russian side. President of Turkey Erdogan will call Zelensky and Putin soon. He still tries to be a peacekeeper in a region, but I think everything that includes this phase should be ignored. I posted this one on my Telegram as well. Kind of interesting video, you may say. So Ukrainian helicopter flies low over that civilian cars for the reason, well, I got some of the comments on Telegram saying that it was the cover from the rockets or something. My friends, there are lots of fields nearby the road. I don't see the power lines, I don't see anything, so clearly it was the stunt performed by the pilot. That brings high risks to civilians on the road. So just look at this distance. If something goes wrong with the helicopter, or maybe with the weather conditions, maybe wind shear or something at this low altitude, it may happen. So what will happen to the cars on a highway? So it's very risky, abrupt maneuvers, reckless flying. For what this risky stunt was done, as a pilot, I will never understand that. As an aviation guy, I will never put civilians on risk. Here, clearly, it was done on purpose to show the mighty Ukrainian helicopter to civilians, how we can fly it at a low altitude, not understanding that they put the lives of the ordinary people under the risk. So I dislike that behavior from the pilot. You see, there are lots of the civilian cars around, and I think I know the place of this highway, and it's far away from the front lines. So why should they fly like that? The New York Times article says that the United States sees the opportunity for Ukraine to take more ground. So the next 6 weeks, Ukraine military will press forward in Donbass and potentially retake Kherson. Russia now eagerly start to build a defense line in Donbass. Probably they know something, and yes, we need to use this time before the mud surface just to counterattack in Kherson, Donbass, in Lugansk area. So I hope that it will happen this fall. Germany gave Ukraine the first radar system. The name of it is TRML-4D, and it's used to identify the rockets. So it will help our air defense, and totally they will provide 4 of those systems to Ukrainian army. And this happened not in Ukraine but in Russia. Somehow Russian vehicles just got fire and exploded. We don't know why. Maybe someone smoked at the wrong place. According to the Flight Radar 24 service, Iran continued to send cargo planes to Moscow. The unusual activity says about the possible drone delivery to Russia. Strange things are happening in Belarus. So Russia sent their soldiers to Belarus, but Belarus sent their tanks to Russia. So those tanks were tracked by the witnesses, by the photos and videos from internet. So the column went from Belarus to Rostov-on-Don, all across the Russian regions to fight in Ukraine, I think, for the Russian reinforcements. Those are mostly tanks, T-72s and others. That is why it's kind of nonsense for me that Belarus would enter this conflict, that they are giving up their weaponry to Russian side. It's just nonsense, but still they may enter. That's why we have to keep our forces ready for the possible Belarusian invasion. You know that Russian side also has their own volunteers, and they are collecting funds for the thermal cameras and other stuff. So this girl, she speaks about the thermal cameras that were delivered to the Russian army. So she said that they need more because our guys, she said, on the front lines, they're very cold, so they need the thermal cameras. In her mind, it's just a thermal camera to warm up the soldiers. Very interesting and funny. If they don't know what the item looks like and what is the main purpose of it, I think they just collect funds for their pockets. United States uncovered the location of their strategic submarine, which is now in Arabian Sea near to Saudi Arabia in international waters. I think that move was done to show Russia and Iran that United States are ready for any kind of scenario. The submarine may carry 24 ballistic rockets. Each ballistic rocket may carry 12 nuclear warheads. So one submarine is enough to destroy all of the military bases in Russia. This Russian soldier, his name is Nathan, was imprisoned by Ukrainian side this summer and later on was exchanged for a Ukrainian soldier. But later on Nathan decided to go and fight again, and finally he lost his life in Ukraine. So second attempt is not as successful as the first one. And for the obvious reason, he will not have the third attempt. And this is the post about Nathan's death, and this is the guy. No comments. My friends, I'm gonna keep you updated on situation here in Ukraine. Now please press the like to this video. It helps to propel my content around YouTube. Thank you so much for it. And also, if you want to support my channel financially, there are some of the links in the video description below. You may support me on Patreon, PayPal, or Donatella, which is more convenient for you. My friends, I wish you a peaceful sky wherever you are. Have a great time.